Good evening. Thanks for joining us tonight. We begin in Nanaimo at a barometer of the economy. The number of welfare recipients in the harbor city is up, way up. It has increased a staggering 76% over last year. And the spike in the number of people in need is putting more pressure on the city's already stretched social services. News Mid-Island Bureau Chief Jonathan Bartlett has the story. He's live in our Nanaimo newsroom with details. Jonathan.
Hudson, just when it's starting to get cold out, a huge increase in people needing a helping hand in Nanaimo, and no free lunch.
Wallace Malay knows what it's like to be broke and on the streets.
I used to be a crack addict. It's a hard cycle to be in. Not only do you feel the inner pain and shame of being where you're at, but how a lot of people in the society view you as an individual.
Malay has cleaned up and is sober. He's now a mental health outreach worker and a social activist, among other things. But he knows the pain and frustration of being poor.
Each one of us has a story on how we ended up where we were, right? And our voices are not always heard.
If the latest numbers from the Ministry of Housing and Social Development are correct, there are a lot more disadvantaged people in Nanaimo than there were last year. In October, there were 2,438 people receiving income assistance in the expected to work category, a 76% increase over last year.
It's obviously a distressing situation. There's a lot of folks collecting income assistance who are able to work, and it must be difficult for them.
The spike raises concern over the pressure on social services in the Harbour City.
It will put some stress on services that help the sort of around the edges of poverty. So food programs, Christmas hamper programs.
Loaves and Fish's food bank are busy getting their Christmas hampers ready. They've seen a huge increase in November of people needing help. 700 more singles, 200 more families, and 600 more children compared to October.
The numbers are also up at the Salvation Army, so much so they've had to start charging for meals. No more free lunch.
$1 is now being charged for lunches served at the New Hope Center. Supper is $2.
Our facility is not designed to handle the numbers that we were seeing. It's a challenge that the numbers have on the neighborhood. So we've looked at several different options, and this is the only one that we've been able to come up with so far.
Some people think that's still a good deal.
It's only $3 a day, for $1 for dinner and $2 for supper. I think that's pretty good. Where else are you going to find a meal for $3, for 2 meals a day for $3?
But Wallace Malay says not everyone is happy with the new policy, so he's collecting pennies.
And for anybody that's hungry that needs $1 for lunch, they will get 100 pennies from us to take to the Salvation Army to make sure they're fed for that day. And we want it to be loose pennies so that we're delivering a message.
And that message is that not everyone can afford to eat, even if it costs just $1.
Wallace Malay says they'll have their wheelbarrow taking donations of pennies outside the Vault Cafe in downtown Nanaimo for as long as it takes. Meanwhile, the Salvation Army and Loaves and Fish's food bank, who are putting together those Christmas hampers, are looking for donations of food. Call 250-585-2621 or go to their website, hampervillenanaimo.org, if you can help out. Hudson?
All right, Jonathan Bartlett, thank you.
You're welcome.